Today, I am finally going to show you how we built this beautiful glass panel sliding barn door style door, and on a very extreme budget. But before I do that, I need to show you why we went with this style to begin with. So tell me, can you relate to any of these issues? We had several areas in this house where the doors just drove me crazy. They either split rooms in half or got in the way or kept us from accessing certain other areas of the house. I showed an example of this in the previous barn door video I did, where we replaced our master bathroom and closet doors on a very extreme budget. I will link that right up here so that if you haven't seen it, you can watch it next. As much as I was thrilled to eliminate those old traditional doors in the master bedroom, I was even more ecstatic about eliminating this crazy laundry room door that always seemed to be in the way. And it constantly caused household congestion in this area as people were coming and going to and from the house. It used to anyway, when we had a house full of people. Oh, and you know what else would happen? The door wouldn't stay shut. So if you pushed on it, it would open, which is great when you're running out the door in a hurry and you've got your arms full of stuff. But it's not so great when you're Rocky and you go into that laundry room to sniff out where your humans left to, and the door closes behind you and you don't have hands to open it. So the doors took a beating thanks to that, or a scratching, I should say. Anyway, that's some of the reasons we built this door, but we probably wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for the fact that we were doing an entire laundry room renovation. I'm going to share an in-depth video over the entire renovation process in the very next episode. But I want to give you a small sneak peek real quick, and I want to explain the thought process behind this renovation so that if you struggle in any of these areas, hopefully this will give you some ideas or inspiration so that you can tackle your laundry room makeover on a budget. So here were my must-haves for the laundry space. Number 1, eliminate clutter. Number 2, clear the walk-through. Number 3, a place for hanging clothes, but not in the walkway. Number 4, but probably most importantly, storage. Number 5, shelving. But I wanted a built-in step stool so that I could access the highest shelves without having to constantly be running around hunting the step stool down. Number 6 is a countertop for folding clothes. 7, a stylish way to display laundry supplies. 8, a place for the laundry hamper that isn't in the way. And number 9, a place for Rocky's food bowl. And let me also tell you, the real reason for the laundry room makeover was so that we could try to gain some additional storage space. This was because we took out an entire wall in the kitchen, or a half a wall, I should say, and we lost 2 very large upper cabinets. And so that sent us on a path of trying to reclaim storage space all throughout the house so that we could shift everything around. So I know that sounds like a very tall order for such a small space. By the way, I measured our laundry room. In the widest area, it is 6.5 feet wide. And from the garage door to the laundry room door, so the length is 8.5 foot long. So it's not a big space. Art didn't think I would be able to pull it off at first when I told him everything I wanted to accomplish in there, until I drew it out and showed him what I was thinking. He was amazed that I managed to fit every single want into this small space. And it is now so much more inviting, and dare I even say, a little bit exciting to do laundry. At least more exciting than it was before when there was a ton of clutter in there. So let me give you just a little sneak peek, and then we are going to jump into this door renovation. You guys aren't going to believe how I managed to keep this project under $50. Okay, guys, now we are going to get into how we built this barn door on such an amazing budget. So this, of course, is going to depend on the size of your door, but just like the previous barn door video, I need you to measure the width of your door from the outside of the frame to the outside of the frame. I believe ours was 32. Let me check that really quick. Okay, I'm trying to show you, but I can't get everything to hold still. I'm trying. Nope, it's not working. Anyway, I was wrong about that. It is 32 inches wide on the inside of the door frame. So on the outside, it's actually 38 inches wide from outside of frame to the other outside of frame. 38 inches wide, okay? And then you want to measure from the top of your door frame down to the ground, but you also have to remember that you've got to leave space for your rollers and your railing, just like I showed you in the previous video. And if you didn't see that one, I will link it up here in the right-hand corner and at the end in the comments and in the description, okay? So we'll get to that later, but for now you need to know from the top of your frame to the floor so that you know that you need a door at least that tall. Okay, you want it taller than that, but it needs to be at least that tall, and then it needs to be at least this wide. Okay, so I'll show you how we did this and what we did here in just a moment. Okay, I'm trying to hold all this and it's not working too well, but you can see we would have needed at least 84 inches in height. And then I remember we went ahead and measured all the way up to the ceiling, which was 96 inches. Okay, and I'll explain that in just a second. So remember, we need 38 inches wide and 84 or more inches tall. Okay, so get your measurements, comment your measurements after you have them. Comment those for me, what your width and your height is. Okay, do you see this? This is the original narrow door frame from around the edge. Okay, so I'm showing you the width here, and it is, what does that say? 30 inches wide. So remember, I knew our opening here was 32 inches wide, and I knew we really needed 38 inches to cover the whole frame, right? So 30 inches is not going to cut it, right? Well, we had the same issue with the height because this door was 30 inches wide and 96 inches tall. And I'm going to show you the original door. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and I looked for several weeks before I finally found this one. I was looking for a glass door at an affordable price that I could get to fit this space. All of them were either way too small or way too big, and they were metal doors or something that couldn't be cut. So the first thing that I did was I contacted the seller and asked if he thought the wood at the top could be cut off, not all the way, of course, but some of it, so that we could cut the height down some, or if it was metal. And he checked it for me and he said, yeah, I think you can cut it. So anyway, we bought this for 10 bucks, this $10 glass door, and it really is glass. And I put I could have done just solid frosted. I'm sure some people would have preferred the solid frosted look. Sometimes I go back and forth over whether I want to change it. I love geometric patterns though, so that's why I went with this. But I did that so that, you know, if there's laundry in the laundry room, people don't have to see it as they're walking down the hall. You know, we can just keep the door closed. But so here's what we did. The door needed to be wider than it was, but it also needed to be shorter than it was. So it was too tall and not wide enough. So I'm going to show you in the pictures in a second, but there was a lot bigger gap on top than on bottom, but we wanted it to be equal. So we cut an equal amount off. That way it wouldn't look funny. Rocky, are you helping? My little Vanna white down there. So we cut an equal amount off from the bottom and the top so that it would be even. And then so that we could widen it, so what we did first, no, I'm trying to think of which one came first. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what we did first was this. Hold on. Okay, so this is a 1x6, and we had all of this wood out in the garage. It was unstained. The door was unstained. So once we got it all pieced together, then I just went ahead and stained it all so that it would all match and look like one piece. So we took 1x6 and cut it in the same length of what our final door size was, and then a 1x6 over here. And then we attached it just to the edge. I think the door just comes to like right here. So we screwed it in from the back side, I believe. Yeah. And attached it to here, right on this side, right? And then after we finished everything, then I came back with these 1x4s and measured, because I knew I wanted a 4-panel door. So I measured so that those would be equal distance. And I put those on, and I'll explain that in just a second. But after, trying to get a good view of this to show you. So after we attached this, then of course it left a little gap in here. So that's why we put these 1x2s here, which you'll have to decide whether you need a 1x2 or a 2x4 is what this is. But you'll have to decide if you need like a 2x4 or a 1x4 or a 4x4 or whatever based on the depth of your door. Does that make sense? And that's only if you can't find the right size door to go over your opening. So our tip for you is to check Facebook Marketplace and obviously look for the size that you need, but don't stop there. If you can't, especially if you want a glass door, they are so expensive these days, guys. So this is the best way to go to get one of those glass panel doors. And you can tell, I mean, like, see, most of them, and if we wanted to, we could come back. We could put like a 1x6 or something and attach it here if we wanted to hide the fact that the door is taller than the frame. But see, look, most of the time, well, okay, well, yeah, when this light's off, you can't see for sure, but let me show you what it looks like when the laundry room light's off. Well, now you really can't see. Okay, hold on. It's a stormy day, so well, I guess you kind of can see, but oh well. Anyway, if you wanted to not have it be taller than your frame, that's an easy fix. For us, it just didn't matter. It didn't bother us. So that is that. And then this handle, I need to dust, I'm sorry. This handle came as one little kit, and then the little rolly thing, I can't remember if that came with the handle, and then the thing. So the rails, I'm saying the thing, and the thing. So anyway, I will link all of the things. I will link them in the description of this video. But I also found another one. I don't know the quality of it, but it has all of these things, the handle, the little tracking thing at the bottom, and the railing at the top, and a lock even, all in one for cheaper than what I paid just for the rails alone. So I'm going to link both. I'll link all of the individual items that I bought, plus the cheaper one that I found that includes everything. That way you can look at them and make your own choice. But if you have any questions about this DIY project, please let me know. And if you are interested in our laundry room renovation, that video will be out on Thursday. So we will see you then. And remember to go the second mile today for someone in your life and with your resources.